is Jitka, who will talk to us about our mutual interest in the chemistry behind certain substances, although her interest has led to far more knowledge of the combinations of chemicals and what each particular chemical does. And Jitka, take it away.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for doing this.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us a little bit about your background in the chemicals that we're talking about.
Right. I've started studying chemistry because of the interest in there is something you can investigate, and there was no particular area.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the years, I found out I've been interested in the psychology and how we perceive things and how our brain works and our cognition and awareness. And these two interests kind of meet together in the chemistry of certain psychoactive chemicals or in the neurochemistry. And that's where I continued studying further.
And I remember you told me you have an interest in, let's say, Alexander and I think Anna Shulgin?
Yeah, Alexander and Anna Shulgin. I believe these are my most personal and, let's say, professional idols. I would even call it that way.
Okay.
Alexander Shulgin was a chemist in last century, and he was interested in
Last century, but I mean more recently, say early 1900s or something.
About a decade ago or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And he was an extraordinary chemist, in not so in the chemistry itself, but for his perspective on science or why he did what he did. And he was working in his backyard. He was synthesizing different chemicals and testing them on himself and his wife Anne and his friends, for they were tools to investigate human mind.
So they were psychonauts.
Yes, and they were developing new chemicals.
If I remember right, he's best known for MDMA and for 2CB.
He reintroduced MDMA. He didn't synthesize it, but he reintroduced it to psychiatrists or to be used in...
And this was when, around 1980, 1970s? Maybe?
Yeah, it could be around 70s, 80s. I'm not sure about that.
I remember there was, in the early 1980s was when it was, I think, still legal. And they were, places like Texas, they would have it at bars like Peanuts. And you could actually have it, they're like free, like Peanuts were in American bars. And I don't understand that, because I know that MDMA, I usually stop drinking when I take MDMA. But I think that they just wanted people to have the feeling that, they were happy and having fun. And supposedly they would then buy more drinks. But this was in their early 80s, and I think by the mid to late 80s it had been made illegal in most areas. So, okay, so that was Shulgin, and 2CB was what?
That's his invention. That's I believe he called it one of his most favorite drugs. He was looking for actions that were comfortable for him, that were somehow interesting, which areas of mind they bring up to. And 2CB is kind of warm and very sensual, and I think he seemed to like it if you read his reports or talks about him.